find out if you should buy this instead of its cousin, the Golf R. So inside the Tiguan R, the first impression that you'd get is that the interior does feel a little bit dated. Dated in the sense that it doesn't feel like it's from 2010, but more 2018-ish, 2019, 2018. And I do say that while saying that the front steering wheel is a bit, how do I say this? It's annoying. There's a lot of touch-sensitive buttons all over the place, both on the steering wheel and also on the infotainment system itself. For example, the volume controls are touch-sensitive, and also the power off and on button, the home button, the menu button, all of that is touch-sensitive. Now, we did try to wipe this, but we'll get all the fingerprints over there, and because it's touch sensitive, you do tend to sort of like go over it, and if you apply any pressure, you will end up pressing your button. So it does get a bit annoying. The other thing is that the interior, the infotainment system is that, well, I initially thought it was quite slow, but that is just because the map itself is very laggy. When you do use the actual infotainment system and you go through all the settings and everything, then you do eventually see this a bit fast. It's quite responsive, actually. It's just the map. Moving on to the rest of the infotainment system, though, and well, the cockpit itself, there are some features that are quite good. For example, you do get a dual clutch transmission to 7-speed. It's the same one that you get in the Golf R. And on that, well, Eugene will elaborate later on, is that the fact that the engine is the same as the Golf R. It shares a lot of features of the Golf R. The interior itself is very similar to it, but a bit different. The Golf R's interior is a lot more like a Porsche, in the sense that you get sort of one piece that flows down. Here you don't really get that. You still get a lot of the stuff that you'd need and you'd expect. And it really basically looks the same as a normal Tiguan, except there's some blue stitching now. And that's how you know you're in a R, you know you're in a faster car. Which means you do get your normal gear shifters here. And well, anything else that you'd expect in an SUV, in a compact SUV. What I will say though is that it's a really good interior. I could have a little bit less plastic, especially since this is a £1 million car, and that means that you are competing with Mercs, Audis, and even some Porsches. So now moving to the back seat of the Tiguan R, it is kind of spacious in here. Actually, it is very spacious in here because it's an SUV, and it's still, you know, you do get a more sensible cabin because, you know, this is like a Golf but just jacked up on stilts. You know, back here you still get a lot of materials. You still get the squidgy plastics that you get. It's a Tiguan at the end of the day. It's not going to be something like a Macan or even a GLC, but still, it's still very nice in here. And I think of like the Tiguan R as like a skunkworks project, like the time when BMW made the 1M, because I don't think many people actually asked for that. So like with this one, I don't actually think a lot of people or anyone actually asked for the Tiguan R line, because well, it's still a Tiguan, and paying almost this much for a car, I don't know if I would, but probably if I drive it, then I'll probably decide like, yeah, it'll probably be worth more. So actually, let's move to the trunk, because after all, it is a compact SUV, and we need to see how much space it is for you and your suitcases and going on a long family trip. All right, so back here with the boot, we have a boot space of around 520. This is what you would get in most hatchbacks. I know for a fact that it is about smaller than the GLC 43, which in terms of performance is this car's competitor. There's not really too much to go over. It's a boot, and it's a boot of a car that's around the same size. The hatchback is quite practical. You do pull these tethers over here to be able to push the seats down, and it's available on both sides. You do have some chargers. You have only one charger though. It's 12-volt socket over there, and then after that you have your spare tire down here, which you pull out, and there it is. Now, to be able to close these seats, you'd have to come back around, and normally you just put the seats up like so, except there's a tether. Now you pull this tether down here and you can be able to push them all the way back. I don't understand why that's there. It's really just a mystery, to be honest, and the Germans can't really explain it to us. Don't know, no one has known for quite a long time. But what we do know that we can do is show you just about how big the boot is in terms of space. So what I'm going to do now is, while the boot is closing, okay, now moving to the engine part of it, well, this is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's the same motor in the Golf R. It still has 235 kilowatts and around 400 meters of torque. And for those of us who actually use horsepower, it's around 320 horsepower.
knowing like, you know, this will go up against maybe like a GLC 43 or even an X3 M40i. But you know, much of this has been used, you know, the person has been using it as a daily driver. As you can see, it's very dirty. Most of these cars, I don't think will actually be driven all that much, because if you buy a car like this, you probably have like maybe 3 or 4 cars. 0 to 100 times is around 5.1 seconds. You know, for an SUV, well, a compact SUV, that's actually not bad. It's quick enough. I don't think you need to get any much faster than that. That's really cool. So we are on the roll now in the Tiguan R, and I can say it is amazing. I just downshifted there. Oh, the DSG shifts instantly. I think it's a 7-speed DSG. But what I can say is it's a very comfortable car. It feels very, you know, luxurious. It's a Tiguan after all, so you still get the SUV benefits instead of a regular Golf. Because, you know, as I said before, it kind of is, you know, a jacked up Golf just on stilts. But it's still really nice. You have a good view of what's around you. You know, it's not cumbersome. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. You feel like, you know, you can just really see everything at once. It's still really nice. So I mean, let me pass it on to Leto so that he can tell you how it is from the passenger seat right now.
Well, passenger side, it's a family SUV basically, so it's quite comfortable. The sound is quite good. Enough feedback, to be honest. Passenger isn't completely in the dark when it comes to the feedback of the car. Just something you always want in a performance car. So quite decent. Yeah.
And I'll do a pull for you guys so that you guys can actually hear what it sounds like in a minute. But it's really nice, and there's no fakery going on here, and it's really quick. Yeah, no wonder it's faster than the Golf R, which you can actually fact check on Car Magazine, because they tested it and this is actually quicker than its equivalent of the Golf R, which is surprising because you'd think like a little hatchback would be faster than a compact SUV. Yeah, guys, this car is extremely fast. I mean, I barely even pressed the throttle there. It was like half, like, you know, me actually putting pressure on the throttle. But it's really nice. Steering feel is really nice. It weights up when I put it in R mode, because in comfort mode, it really did feel like a luxury car. So, you know, if you really want to feel how this car is, you really want to put it in R mode. Although I don't know how many times that you really want to put a car like this in R mode, because it's really comfortable. I think, you know, I haven't really driven a GLC. Oh my god, those pops. That pop. Ooh, I hope you guys can hear that through the audio, because it's amazing. And yeah, bad roads. Let me do a pull. Oh my gosh. If there's a God, yeah, he knows how to. Oh, RS6 as well. If there's a God, yeah, he knows how to make cars. Okay, so you guys want to hear this? Whoa. And over some inconveniences on the road, it's very planted, you know. As a German car, you really do feel like it's stable, and it just punches through very well and very, you know, very solidly. Because, you know, with an Asian car, I'm sorry to say, but like, they just don't feel as solid as something as this. And probably the only thing I would compare this to is a GLC 43 or even a Macan GTS. But wow, it's amazing. I can't get over the gear shifts. The gear shifts are very nice and fast. Turning in, yeah. You have to give other people what they want. Yeah, this is an amazing car. It's really an amazing car. So why don't we actually pass it over to Mateo so that he can actually tell you what it's like in the back seat.
Getting to the back seat now, where again, as Leto stated himself, this is very comfortable being a big styled family SUV. You've got very nice finish seating, nice finish around on the doors, and you've got a nice view just generally, especially with this beautiful blue color, which we'll get to in the end. But it is very comfortable. You don't feel all the bumps and little naggy edges in the road that you generally feel from something smaller or not as premium feeling as something like this. And again, this is more comfortable than its Golf R, almost competitor in the brand, its sister car, if you'd like to say, its smaller sister car. And I honestly would take this over the Golf R, and I believe many people would, considering the fact that it is as quick, the same price, and somehow still more comfortable, more luxurious, and overall just a better experience, especially in the back seats. Got a lot of leg room, got a lot of headroom, and it's just quite a pleasant experience being in the back, especially with the noise coming from the exhaust pipes not too far behind us. So heading back to the front end now, just to give you guys a bit more of the experience from what we can see.
Where to?
Nah, the sound is really good. The sound is incredible. I like how rough it is at low end, and then just
Really
I know
freaky.
you want it to be high, nice and high in the high end, and it just does it. It does everything right in terms of sound. Lovely thing.
You know, I never expected a 2-liter 4-cylinder to sound this good, but with an Akrapovic exhaust like this, I think if you're buying a car like this, it's best to just get the upgrade. It might be a bit more expensive because, you know, it's around 70,000 Rand, but you get a sound like that, and I think it just adds to the entire experience. But actually, I think it's best if we actually give you guys a conclusion when we're actually back at the dealership. So see you in a bit. Okay guys, so we reached the end of this wonderful review, as we want to say, and what can I conclude about it? Well, from driving it, it's a fantastic car to drive. I love putting in the R mode. I mean, you guys heard the pops and bangs, it's amazing. The power is amazing, the DSG is just phenomenal, and I think for a bargain, compared to the Golf R, this is just better. You have more space, you have more comfort. It is obviously an SUV, but it's an amazing car. I don't really know what else to say. It looks amazing, it better value for the money, and that's what I can say. So thanks again to VW Seika here in 4 Ways. If you guys want to check out their cars that are for sale, just come down. I'll give you my guys' contact. I'll put them in the description below. Also, thanks again for getting us to 400 subscribers. We all love you guys. You know, because of you, we get to do things like this. And well, I just want you to stay tuned for December because there's a lot of things coming. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and well, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.